The average Angel Reese game is 10,100, 10,200. They come to watch her. You know what the average attendance is when Caitlin Clark plays home or the road?
What?
15,300.
Wow.
Okay? 15,300. Right there, look at this. Caitlin Clark gets 15,591 fans in attendance, 105% increase. Compared to the average game is 76.45. And to Angel Reese, it's only 10,000 people is what the contract is. Okay? This is WNBA is paying Caitlin Clark $28 million. Good for frickin' you.
Can you tell me about the similarities between Caitlin Clark and LeBron James? Both of them were rookies when they turned their leagues around. The reception that Clark has received, on the other hand, has been a bit more difficult than the one that LeBron received. In response to the Caitlin Clark effect, why are some players in the WNBA taking a stand against it? Your response can take you by surprise.
I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane for the first time in their league history. You know, they flew private. That should be celebrated in its own right. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. But for her individually, I don't think she should get involved on nothing that's being said. Just go.
Let's discuss Clark's game that broke records. Could you imagine the effect it had? Attendance at the WNBA soared, and television viewership increased too. It's as like she flicked a switch and all of a sudden everyone is watching women's hoops. This is where things become really fascinating though. Not all league members are thrilled about it.
Take yesterday, upset with the fact that Stephen A. Smith hasn't been talking about WNBA enough for the last few years, and she's calling him out, and it got pretty nasty. Rob, I'm going to text this to you. You have this? Go ahead and play this clip. Go for it.
Talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that.
We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
She's talking all that trash. Could you imagine if it was reverse racist? If that was a white girl.
White supremacy.
Perhaps you're asking yourself, but shouldn't they be happy? It's not quite that easy, though. Although Clark's accomplishment is creating some turmoil, it has the potential to revolutionize women's basketball. She's getting the cold shoulder from several players in the league. They're not sure how to deal with this phenomenon of a rookie. Perhaps you're wondering what actually happens behind the scenes. Stay put, as we are going to get into the juicy stuff.
She's going to face a level of racism from black players, and she's going to face a level of hostility from lesbian players because she's not on team LGBTQ. She's a Catholic. She's got some boyfriend. She's going to walk into an extremely hostile environment. And so when it was Tiger Woods walking into a hostile environment of the PGA Tour, we talked about it, we covered it, we covered it sympathetically, we criticized the people that were against Tiger Woods. As it relates to Caitlin Clark, who could come and make the WNBA far...
Let's now discuss numbers. Not only are Caitlin Clark's stats impressive, but they are astounding. The real question is, though, why the WNBA is reacting so strongly to these performances that are breaking records. The significance of these stats for the future of women's basketball is more important than the amount of points scored. Let's dissect it. Clark has an unbelievable shooting percentage. With a 2-point field goal percentage of 62.7% from within 5 feet, she leads all guards in this category. That's elite-level efficiency, not just decent. But more than only her shooting is drawing attention.
What have the Fever figured out?
Stan, they've figured out each other. Caitlin Clark talked about it after the game. She said, we're finally understanding each other. The best dynamic duo right now has been Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. Coming out of this Olympic break, watching those two play off of each other. They look rested. Kelsey Mitchell has been on fire. Caitlin Clark is...
The record-keeping books are being rewritten by Clark's plays. With 232 assists in her rookie season, she set a new WNBA record. Yes, there are 232 assists. Can you picture the effect that has on a group of people? She seemed to be seeing with her eyes in the back of her head, spotting teammates for easy baskets every which way. This is where things become really fascinating, though. Not only is Clark's playwriting style remarkable, but it's also groundbreaking. People are comparing her to NBA legends like Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, and Steph Curry. These aren't only arbitrary parallels. We are discussing some of the most adaptable and influential basketball players in history. Clark is in a class of her own because to her long-range shooting, court vision, and ability to dominate the game.
Angel break these rookie records has been phenomenal, but when it comes to Indiana and Chicago, Indiana is the more complete and together basketball team on both sides of the ball, which makes them a dangerous team in the playoffs. Chicago still fighting to hold on to that playoff spot.
Well, she's good, but how does this impact the league, you might be asking yourself? All right, get set for this. It's true, the Caitlin Clark effect is amazing. 7,576 fans turned out to watch Clark play, setting a record for the biggest attendance in a WNBA game in Georgia history for the Atlanta Dream. It's not only a sizable gathering, that is a claim. Furthermore, it's not a one-time event. Clark's team, the Indiana Fever, is now a must-watch on television. They had one game that was nationally aired last season. 1. Out of the 40 games this season, 36 are being televised nationally. That's a total 180, and Clark is solely to blame for it.
This is a phenomenon. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon. And if I said to any of these people who think Caitlin Clark is not the Rookie of the Year, I'd say, who would you want to start your franchise with? Now, I'm not going to put Asia Wilson in there. I'm just saying between these two. Angel Reese is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlin Clark is.
But let's zoom out for a second. Clark's influence extends beyond TV deals and stats. She's transforming the perception of women's hoops basketball. She turns each game she plays into a happening. There are millions of fans listening in. For a single game, we're talking about 2,200,000 potential watchers. In the WNBA, that is unprecedented. Additionally, quality is equally as important as quantity. People's perceptions of what is feasible in the women's game are being expanded by Clark's shooting range. She is making photos from what was once thought to be no man's land. She seems to be competing on a different court than the rest of them.
Caitlin Clark now has the rookie record, the history of the WNBA, as she's now going to try to set the all-time record.
The problem is that Clark's success is altering not just the course of games, but the entire field of women's basketball. She's a sensation, not simply a player. She's also expanding the parameters of what's feasible for women in athletics with each record she's shattering and each crowd she pulls. The league should be rejoicing over Clark's success, but here's the twist. It's really creating a lot of turmoil. What's actually going on in the WNBA's back offices? It appears that not everyone is overjoyed by Caitlin Clark's dramatic arrival to the league. There is a schism in the WNBA community as a result of certain players feeling overlooked. Another player, Angel Reese, didn't hold back when she stated, "It's not just because of one person that we're watching women's basketball. It's because of me, too." Can you feel the tension in that statement?
Into the WNBA, which nobody was talking about the WNBA just in a joking manner. She has made the WNBA and they hate it. What's the girl, PBD? The number one draft of last year. Was it last year?
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese was talking crap about her. She's like, it's not just her. What about me? The
national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too, and I want y'all to realize.
However, it goes beyond simple upset feelings. Clark plays in such an aggressive manner. The court is literally being shaken up by it. Do you recall when she punched the basket out of fury and received a technical foul? Clark would not be discouraged like most athletes would. She complimented the referee, claiming that it inspired her to play more aggressively. It is the kind of spirit of competition that is causing a stir in the league.
This company, this corporation called the WNBA, is not profitable. They don't make money. They've never made money. They're fully subsidized by their daddy. And I get like they're just shoving Caitlin Clark down people's throats because she's a cash cow. Great. They're going to market the hell out of this white chick. That's whatever she is. She puts the ball in the hole.
Perhaps you're thinking now if this is all about basketball or if there's more going on. It appears that the topics of race and gender in sports are heavily discussed in this argument. While some claim that Clark's pushback is just jealousy at its core, others contend that it's a reflection of more serious social issues. What is the true narrative here then? What does Clark's ascension mean for the WNBA? Yes, it's not that simple. Players like Angel Reese are among those who believe their contributions are being overlooked. After years of arduous work, all of a sudden this newcomer enters and takes center stage. You can see why that could be a little painful, correct?